Denim Wrapped Nightmares, what is happening? First of all, shout out and thank you for your support. And secondly, I want to tell the people about Public Domain, their next favorite adult animated sitcom that you're going to love more than any animated show you've ever seen before, because you've already seen these characters before. These characters exist in a world where they've passed up their copyright, and now they're free to use for me in the public domain, and we're going to do it, and we're going to voice them by a bunch of supernatural characters, and it's going to be your favorite show. Now, we need your help to make this show because we can't do it by ourselves, and the executives are sitting on their asses, so go to our Indiegogo campaign. You'll find it down here, over there, or up there. I'm not really sure. It will be somewhere. Check it out. Donate a little bit, donate a lot. We got some great Christmas perks, including a naughty Santa card of me that involves, well, naughty things. So check us out, support us if you can. If you can't support us, thanks. Share us, like us, subscribe us, all the things that make online campaigns successful so you can have the next greatest adult animated TV show.
Welcome to Denim Wrapped Nightmares, Tipsy Exchange podcast, where we explore the supernatural series, episode by episode.
Over drinks, we'll discuss the lore, the gore, and what we adore about the Winchesters and their adventures.
I'm Berly, and I'm a new fan of the series.
I'm LA, and I'm here along for the ride. Now let's get tipsy.
Hello, LA.
Hey, Berly. Last episode we watched was What Is and What Should Never Be. And there was a djinn, which is like a genie that kind of took Dean's ultimate, like, deep down wish that he wanted his mama to be alive. And he went into kind of this alternate reality where Sam was happy with Jessica and going to law school. He had a wife. Dean had a wife. Mom was still alive. Unfortunately, Dad was dead. But basically, the djinn had real Dean draining his body of blood and had him in this, like, artificial world. But Dean figured it out and got out, even though he said he really wanted to stay. But Sammy was there helping to save him in the end. And the djinn went after Sam, but Dean ended up taking him out and stabbing him with a knife with the lamb's blood to kill him.
And it got Dean questioning things about whether what they do is worth it or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sam was like, of course it's worth it. But Dean, it just kind of ended with him looking at Sam like maybe he doesn't think it's worth it.
Yeah, like, why is it up to them? They sacrifice enough. All that.
Which was important leading into today's episode. All Hell Breaks Loose, Part 1. So we open up with Sam and Dean pulling up to the tiniest cafe you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, it was so small. Actually, when they were actually inside, I was like, oh, I guess it's not that tiny. But from the outside,
From the outside, yeah.
Like maybe 4 tables could fit in there.
So tiny, so tiny. As Sam is getting out of the car, Dean is telling him to get extra onions on his burger. And this is like the 3rd time we've heard Dean ask for extra onions. It's just so gross. I hate onions.
I do too, but he likes those onions, I guess.
And he also tells Sam, be sure and get him some pie. He loves pie. We see Sam go inside the cafe and he's talking to a waitress. And then the radio starts cutting in and out, becoming fuzzy. Dean's distracted, looks down at the radio, like, what the fuck is going on? And when he looks up, it looks like there's no one in the tiniest cafe ever. He jumps out of the Impala, runs inside, and immediately is going, Sam! Sammy! Looking for his baby bro. There's a dude dead on a table, bleeding out everywhere. The cooks have all had their throats slit. And as he makes his way to the back door of the cafe, he finds sulfur on the windowsill. So we know a demon was there. We cut to Sam waking up in... I remember LA said, oh, time travel.
Well, it looked like a Western. Like, it looked like he was back in the Western times or something. I don't know.
It did. I thought it was a theme park. I thought it was like Disneyland, but Western themed. But it's just this old abandoned pioneer town, which Sam explains later to be some town that was supposedly so haunted that everybody in town abandoned it one night and just took off. I Googled it. Not a real thing, but cool little story nonetheless. He tries to pull out his phone, call his brother, obviously, tries to call somebody to come help him. He's got no signal. Phone's not calling anybody. And quickly after that, he runs into, it's Andy. Sweet little Andy from Simon Said, who has the power of mind control and is stoned off his ass.
Oh, Andy.
Sam asks him, what have you been? He's like, I don't know. I literally just woke up here. The last thing I remember was my 4th bong load or something about his bong. Then he said that he could smell something. And Sam said, was it sulfur? And he said, yeah. Which, what's up with all these people knowing exactly what sulfur smells like? I don't know.
I do.
Do you? Okay, well, maybe, I guess it's just me.
Well, I used to use a sulfur soap, so that's why I know.
You used a soap? They all say it smells like rotten eggs.
Yeah, it does.
Ew. And you use that to clean your body?
No, it's really good for acne. I use it on my face.
Would you smell like it after?
No. Because, I put other products on after that, and I'd wash it off. It helped my acne, that's for sure.
Well, that's good. Because looking good's the most important thing in life.
Mm-hmm.
We all know this. Anyway, as Sam and Andy are catching up, they hear screaming. So they follow the sounds of the screams to this little shed. Sam picks up a rock and busts this lock that's on the door. They open it up, and it's Ava, who we haven't seen since Hunted, when Gordon was trying to hunt down and kill Sam. Ava claims that, I just saw you a couple of days ago, Sam. What's going on? And Sam says, no, it's been more like 5 months. She is acting very confused, very concerned that her fiance is probably so worried about her. And while they're catching up, they hear more voices. So now the 3 of them, Ava, Andy, and Sam, all go walking over to this building where they find 2 more people. There's a soldier named Jake who claimed he was on service. Is that how you say it? Service in Afghanistan, and woke up in this ghost pioneer town. And a girl named Lily, who I don't remember where she said she was, but she was in a completely different city and just woke up here as well.
I think she was in California.
We find out that Lily's secret power, as they're all talking about their visions, and Andy fills them in that he can push not just thoughts into people's heads anymore, that he can push images into people's head. Lily, apparently when she touches somebody, it makes their heart stop. So we're finding out about all their secret powers, and Sam has started to explain to them, yeah, we're all these special children. A demon wants us for his army to help fight in the apocalypse or something like that. In the meantime, we see Dean and Bobby. They're on the road looking at a map, trying to figure out where else they can look for Sam. They've been trying to find Sam, have no idea where he is. And luckily, Dean's phone rings. It's Ash over at the Roadhouse, and he tells Dean that he has some information he wants to share, but it's too important for him to share it over the phone. As we know, there are some shady hunters up in the Roadhouse who are eavesdropping and taking people's secrets and sharing them and doing all of that.
Gossip queens.
Yeah. So Ash is being smart about it. He says, no, you come here and I'll tell you what I need to tell you. However, by the time they get to the Roadhouse, it is fucked up.
Yeah.
It looks, I don't know what happened there.
It's pretty much burnt to the ground.
Yeah.
There's one wall standing, halfway standing.
Not even a whole wall.
Yeah.
Just enough for you to be able to tell that it used to be something. It is fucked up. And Dean and Bobby are going through the wreckage, and he finds Ash's arm with his watch on it. So, R.I.P. Ash.
I was bummed about that. I liked Ash.
Me too. I was not happy. I mean, we didn't even get to see him go out fighting or anything.
Right.
But, at the end of the episode, Ellen comes around and explains that she had stepped out to go run an errand and wasn't even gone 15 minutes. So whatever came through there, it happened fast. Back in the ghost town, the other demon children are having a hard time believing Sam. They're like,
it sounds a little crazy.
Yeah, they're like, okay, I'm psychic. We all have abilities. Okay, I just teleported here from nowhere and woke up in the middle of here. I have no idea how I got here. Okay, but a demon, that's taking it too far. I don't believe you. You're nutty. So Jake and Lily, the last 2 people who joined the group, they're like, we're better off on our own. We're going off on our own. It shows Jake walking down the middle of town, and he looks over at a building and sees this little girl staring at him through a window. And then she like flashes away. LA and I are both going, run, Jake. What does Jake do? No, he goes into the building to see what's up. And he says like, hello. And he's trying to see what's going on. And on the chalkboard, it's written over and over and over again, like you've seen in Detention or like in the credits of The Simpsons. It says, I will not kill, over and over and over. And then this little girl ghost comes out of nowhere. And first she holds up her hands and her fingernails grow to like gross, long, scary lengths. And then her face distorts into like this scary thing. And she's about to attack Jake, but Sam comes out from behind with an iron rod and swings it at her, and she turns into a big thing of smoke and disappears out the door. And Sam's all like, just so you know, that was a demon. Like, fuck you guys.
I told you.
Yeah. Believe me now, assholes. In fact, he says it's a specific kind of demon, and Acheri, who disguises itself as a little girl. So that's the kind of demon that's hanging out in Pioneer Town. Oh, and here we go. So this is when Sam notices the bell in the middle of town. And apparently this bell is associated with Cold Oak, South Dakota, which is the town that was so haunted everybody left. Now, Lily is still wanting to get the fuck out of Dodge. She's like, let's get out of here. But Sam says the best thing that we can do is stick together, not split up. Lily disagrees. She goes running off. Something in the woods gets her. And Lily is killed. While Lily's getting killed, the other four of them, Ava, Andy, Jake, and Sam, are scouring the town for supplies. They're looking for salt, iron, knives, guns, anything they can use as a weapon in case there's more demons. And I think they definitely found a knife. We know that much. And Sam has his iron rod. I know Andy turns up with giant bags of salt that he was so happy to have found.
He's very proud of himself.
He was very proud of himself. So they're finding things that they're going to be able to utilize. As they're getting their treasure or whatever, what's the word I'm looking for? Their findings, their gathering, their collateral, whatever.
Yeah.
As they're getting all that together, they realize, where the fuck is Lily? She hasn't shown up with anything.
Bitch isn't helping.
Yeah. What's she doing? And then they hear like a laugh. And so they go outside and they see that Lily has been hung in the center of town.
She had potential, but she made some dumb moves.
I mean, I don't know how much potential she had. She'd have to touch something to make its heart stop. Do demons have hearts? How useful was that going to be fighting a demon?
Well, the person that the demon is overtaking.
Well, I mean, she could have won. We found out later that the name of the game was Lone Survivor. She could have just easily been like, pap, 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 pap.
Yeah, right?
And won the game.
She should have stuck around.
Just start slapping people.
Yeah.
Play the quickest game of tag you ever played in your life.
Done.
So Andy and Sam are talking about basically how they wish Dean was there, that he would be really helpful. And Andy says, you know what? I haven't tried this long distance before, but it's worth a shot. Do you have something of Dean's? And Sam pulls out a receipt. Andy holds on to that. What did he say it was signed as? D. Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
So Andy holds on to that and starts pushing images into Dean's brain. We see Dean and Bobby leaving the roadhouse, trying to figure out what their next steps are going to be. And Dean starts getting headaches and is squeezing his eyes together, acting a lot like how Sam does when he got his visions. I think Bobby even asked, are you getting visions? Andy is pushing the image of the bell into Dean's mind because Sam realized where they were because of the bell. They're hoping Dean's going to as well. Well, Dean didn't, but luckily when he described the bell to Bobby, he knew exactly where it was coming from, because of course he did.
Good old Bobby.
Back in the ghost town, Jake and Sam are tearing apart. I think it was like a tractor.
Yeah, like
something like that. They're taking pieces off of that, trying to dismantle it to get the iron off of it so that they have more weapons. And Jake just kind of pulls a piece of it off, no problem. And then he reveals, oh yeah, by the way, my power is superhuman strength.
It's a good one.
Yeah. They bond. He talks a little bit about discovering his power and trying to keep it a secret. And Sam lets him know that, like, this isn't good. Like, we're in a bad spot. Something really bad is coming. This isn't good. Back in the little shack that they've decided to hold up in, where they're keeping all their weapons, keeping their stash, Sam is talking with Ava. They're salting all the doors, salting all the windows. Ava brings up her fiance again, and Sam says, "Hey, so about that."
Awkward.
"I got some really bad news, Ava. Your fiance is dead." Because they found her fiance dead whenever they tried to go find her at the end of the Hunted episode. And that's when they realized she had been kidnapped by demons. Ava is devastated. She's crying. She's so upset. She, like, falls into Sam's arms. Just like, oh. Who wouldn't?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's winding down. Sam is trying to stay awake to keep watch, but he dozes off. And all of a sudden, Yellow Eyes is standing there. Sam realizes really quickly he's in a dream. And Yellow Eyes is telling him, "You're my favorite. You're the one I want to win. I'm rooting for you. You can do it. You can murder everybody and win the whole game because only one of you is going to survive. It turns out I don't need soldiers. I already have my army. What I need is a general. I need a leader. I need someone to come and take charge." Which wasn't the whole plan, we find out by the end of the episode.
Well,
that's not necessarily why he needed somebody.
Never trust a demon.
I know. You shouldn't. I mean, some of them are quite lovable in this show, though. Not any that we've met thus far.
I was about to say, I was like,
not
ew.
any. Yeah, not anyone we've met yet. So Yellow Eyes is trying to seduce Sam, tempt him into being his guy, letting him know that he's rooting for him and all that. He even shows Sam from the beginning everything that happened with the demon blood. He, like, fed baby Sammy blood from his wrist. And so Sam's like, "Ew, gross. So I have demon blood in me? What the fuck, man? You ruined my life. You're an asshole."
Yeah.
The demon explains that he killed Jessica because they had to get her out of the way. She was making Sam soft. But his mom got killed just because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting.
I thought it was interesting that she recognized him in that
Oh, I
scene.
forgot about that. Yeah. She walked in and was like, "You," and Sam even said she knows you.
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't addressed. They just kind of moved on from there.
Right.
So yeah, what's that about?
She's like, "It's you."
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it wasn't necessarily wrong place, wrong time. Like
There's some other connection
yeah,
there.
yeah. Like she came in and saw you, and then you just fucking killed her.
Right. So who knows? As this portion of the dream tour is coming to an end, the reenactment of Mary's death, Jake ends up shaking Sam awake and tells him that Ava's missing now. So Lily's gone, now Ava's gone.
These bitches just keep taking off.
So both Sam and Jake go outside to try and find her, but she's, like, lurking over in the shadows behind a building. And then the worst thing ever happens. Ugh. So poor Andy is by himself in their little stronghold, chilling out because Jake and Sam are looking for Ava. And Ava comes walking in there. And that bitch breaks one of the salt lines and uses her power to actually control a demon to bring it into the room and have it attack and kill sweet little Andy.
No.
We were so upset.
He didn't deserve that.
I know.
Bitch.
And she sits there very satisfied with herself. And then, like, flick of a switch, she screams as if she's horrified. Sam and Jake come running back to the stronghold, and she tells them that she, had gone out looking for more supplies or something and came back and just found Andy that way. But Sam sees that there's a break in the salt line and calls her bullshit. He's like, "Who did that?" And she tries to blame it on Andy. And Sam says, "No, Andy wouldn't have done that shit. So what the fuck is up, Ava?" And she drops the act, stops crying. Really good actress.
I was going to say, yeah.
It was really good. She was doing great at acting terrified, boohoo crying. I mean, glassy-eyed, everything. Good crier. And she just shut it off at the flip of a switch again. And told Sam that if he were to just give in, that he would be shocked at what they could do with their powers, and explains that she's been there for months and that people just kind of show up every few days in groups of 3 or 4, and whoever is the last one standing, gets to stay. That's the point of the game.
So she's just been taking them out left and right.
Yeah. She summons the demon again and is like, sorry, Sam, but it's over, thinking that she's about to win. But then Jake comes out of nowhere and fucking snaps her neck.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah,
I did not see that.
I didn't either. Jake was not playing around. So the demon goes back out the window before it can hurt Sam. Sam and Jake leave the stronghold. They're talking about what Ava said, talking about all the demon stuff. Sam is thinking, okay, she was controlling the demons. So now that she's dead, I think that you and I can make a break for it. I think we can get out of here. But it turns out Sam wasn't the only one Yellow Eyes has been talking to.
Of course.
He's been talking to Jake as well. And Jake is not convinced they're going to be able to make it out. He's like, the demon told us only one of us is going to survive. That's it. I'm sorry. One of us needs to be the one who gets out of here and tries to kill this demon. I think I could take him. I have super strength. I'm going to take him on. And it's like, what's the saying? I was trying to think of it. Is that the road to hell is paved in good intentions?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. So that's just like a perfect example of that. He thinks he's strong. He's disciplined. He's going to be able to kill this demon. And yet he's the one who gets completely seduced by the demon in the end. So Sam and Jake end up having a tussle. They end up fighting.
He knocks him out.
It's a serious tussle. Like, Sam's shoulder gets dislocated. I mean, he's lucky that Jake punched through a fence and got stuck. And that was the only reason why he was able to get some really good hits in and actually knock out Jake. So he thought. Well, it's right at this moment that Dean and Bobby arrive, and they're walking up and they're calling out to Sam. And Sam looked so happy and so relieved. He's holding his shoulder. He's walking toward Dean and Bobby, and he's just like, Dean, and he's so happy. But Jake was not knocked out, and he has a knife from their stash that they got earlier, and he stabs Sam right in the back. Later on, we find out that he purposely severed Sam's spinal cord.
My episode.
We did both episodes. We did part 1 and part 2 back to back. But anyway, Sammy's fucked is my point. So Sam falls to his knees. Bobby goes running after Jake because Jake makes a run for it. He's convinced Sam's done. I fucking killed him. I know I did the job. I'm out of here. I'm the winner. Bobby tries to go after Jake. Dean just sits there and holds Sam. And they talk for a little bit, but it doesn't take long before Sam is just completely limp in Dean's arms. And Dean's trying to hold his head up to talk to him still. It was heartbreaking. I was crying. I'm not going to lie. I cried again. Shocker. Dean realizing Sam was dead was basically the end of the episode. Not a lot of gore in this one. Andy's death was probably the goriest thing with all that blood coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Sam was a little gory, but not much. Not a lot of gore. I was expecting more gore in this show, but there hasn't been too much. As far as adore, anything you adore about this episode?
It was a sweet moment when they saw each other at the end, but that was short-lived.
I'm happy they tied up the loose ends with the demon children, that we got Andy and Ava back, found out what's been going on with them.
Yeah.
I don't like how Andy's story ended.
Yeah.
So it was sad. It was another sad episode. I would say a good half of this season has been relatively sad.
Yeah.
But it is a 2-parter. So for it just being the first half of the season finale, I think it was pretty good to kind of set things up for what's coming next. But yeah, that was All Hell Breaks Loose, part 1.
Well, for the lore, there is the Acheri that was mentioned in this episode. In Native American folklore, the Acheri is a ghost of a little girl who died a horrible, untimely death. It says due to disease, but I think one of the other ones I read said it could have just been some type of horrific death too. But
Just trauma or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they think what they believed was she would return from the spirit world to live in the hills and the mountaintops in the day, and at night she would fly through the valleys and spread a shadow of illness over the sleeping children. During the day, she took on a physical form so that she would be accepted by the children. And so in that instance, she doesn't look like what you would think a demon would look like. And she's a frail child with gray-colored skin. And anyone who saw her would be sympathetic toward her because she just looked like a sick little girl. And in this sympathy she was able to create friendships with those who felt sorry for her. In the folklore, they said that she would take on a second form. And she sometimes takes on a second form, and she's a hideous monster with a skeletal frame, demon red eyes, long clawing fingers, and she is out to make children suffer as she did. But she hides this form when she's meeting her acquaintances during the day, of course.
Sneaky bitch.
She is said to sing and drum through the villages. I think one of the other articles called it a tam-tam. She would play a tam-tam. And this was a forewarning of impending illness or worse, death. And she was known to spread untreatable illness, specifically to children. I feel like it repeats this a lot in this article.
Yeah, she's really out to get kids.
She doesn't fucking like them. Her shadow is similar to, this was weird. They said her shadow is similar to inhaling disease from a highly infected person.
Ugh.
Just like COVID. The disease is one that takes the child's life in a long, drawn-out, often painful process. She's a real bitch.
Yeah.
She thrives on human misery, and so the more sadness around the children's illness, the more powerful she'll become. And the people started to believe that wearing items of red would protect against her. So they wore amulets, clothing, ribbons of red, and parents often would thread charms of red with red ribbon into their children's clothes to protect them from her. Salt, like our show, was another method of protection. Salt was lined around property boundaries or kept in leather pouches that they had the children carry with them. This article said that the movie The Grudge, not Grudge, the Japanese film was based on their version of this, which it says Ju-on, but I know that's not how it's pronounced. But that was what The Grudge was based on, their version of this Acheri.
That movie was creepy as hell.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the Acheri. There wasn't that much information, but that was pretty much it.
It wasn't featured very heavily.
Right, yeah.
All right. Well, to close it out, we got a quote from Dean when they were sitting in front of the tiniest cafe ever. He said, "Hey, see if they've got any pie. Bring me some pie. I love me some pie." Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, it's so heavy.
Thank you for listening to Denim Wrapped Nightmares.
Follow us on Twitter or Instagram, leave a review, and let us know how we can get involved in the fandom.
This was fun. Jerk.
It always is, bitch.